Administration, let's just say this right here. The Trump administration has publicly announced that they are contemplating suspending this habeas corpus. I'll say that again, people. The Trump administration has publicly announced that they are contemplating issuing an executive order which would suspend the constitutional right to habeas corpus. So Kristi Noem was on Capitol Hill answering questions. One of the questions she was asked was, what is habeas corpus? Kristi Noem's response was,
the White House Deputy Chief of Staff recently said that the Trump administration is actively looking at suspending habeas corpus. Last week, you were asked about this, and I want to clarify your position because it's obviously really important to get this right. So, Secretary Noem, what is habeas corpus?
Well, habeas corpus is a constitutional right that the president has to be able to remove people from this country and suspend their right to.
Let me stop you, ma'am. Habeas corpus, excuse me, that's incorrect.
President Lincoln used it.
Excuse me. Habeas corpus is the legal principle that requires that the government provide a public reason for detaining and imprisoning people. If not for that protection, the government could simply arrest people, including American citizens, and hold them indefinitely for no reason. Habeas corpus is the foundational right that separates free societies like America from police states like North Korea. As a senator from the Live Free or Die state, this matters a lot to me and my constituents and to all Americans. So, Secretary Noem, do you support the core protection that habeas corpus provides, that the government must provide a public reason in order to detain and imprison someone?
Yeah, I support habeas corpus. I also recognize that the President of the United States has the authority under the Constitution to decide if it should be suspended or not.
It has never
Let us be clear, though, that this president...
It has never been done without approval of Congress. Even Abraham Lincoln got retroactive approval from Congress. So
we all need to pay attention when the President of the United States, I don't care who he is, I don't care what he looks like, talks about suspending the constitutional right, the constitutional protection of habeas corpus. If you're not familiar at all with habeas corpus, basically habeas corpus is the Latin word. It means produce the body. It's been translated to mean a bunch of things, but you're on solid ground if you interpret habeas corpus to mean produce the body. And without the right and the protection of habeas corpus, that means the government can lock up anybody at any time. I would say without any reason, but at this point, they wouldn't even need a reason, because if you don't have a right to habeas corpus, then you would never get into court to even ask them to reason. So they don't even need a reason, right, without habeas corpus. So everybody in America needs to pay attention to that. I don't care where you're from. I don't care what your political background is. None of that matters, right?